Hey everyone, hope everyone is doing good. In this video, I will cover the steps on how to migrate SharePoint sites from one SharePoint Online environment to another. Even though there are so many tools available these days, but the one I'm going to be using is ShareGate. Alright, so let's get into it. Let me start by talking about the permissions you need to perform migration. It is recommended that you must either have global admin or SharePoint admin role assigned to the account that you plan to use for migration. I prefer using global admin as it allows you to consent to the ShareGate migration tool. So basically, consent allows the migration tool to create and modify Microsoft 365 groups and teams on behalf of any SharePoint Online administrator. You must also assign term store admin permissions to the account that you will use for migration. Lastly, you should assign site collection admin permissions as they are required when running most operations in the ShareGate migration tool. So even if you have global admin or SharePoint admin permissions, you should still assign site collection admin permissions. Without site collection admin permissions, many interactions with the SharePoint APIs will fail, and that will cause unpredictable issues. Moving on, I would now like to talk about some of the most important migration limitations. ShareGate does not migrate the following items, and as a workaround, you can manually create a site with the same look and feel at the destination site. Additionally, custom and third-party solutions are not fully supported. Therefore, you should perform analysis of a site to check if there are any custom solutions in your environment. You also need to ensure that there are no SharePoint sites with an active read-only lock, as those sites won't be migrated properly. Another thing to keep in mind is that large site collections with many subsites may have issues while migrating. Hence, you should plan to migrate subsite in small batches. You can use mapping feature to map the users and group permissions, but if you do not use mapping feature and the source users and groups are not available at the destination, then permissions won't be replicated. I'll show you the mapping feature during the demo. Alright, let's get into it. The first time you will log into ShareGate, you will get to this screen where you will have to enter the source SharePoint site address and then change the authentication to browser and connect. Now you have to enter the global admin or SharePoint admin credentials. It may take few seconds to load your SharePoint environment. Once loaded, click Plan and then click Get Started where it says Source Analysis. Select the source and destination. In our case, source is Microsoft 365 and destination is also same. Once selected, you click on Select Source. Select the appropriate source tenant in case you have more than one, and then filter the site collections so that we can just see the site collections only, not the OneDrive accounts. Select all of them and then click Run Analysis. Depending upon the size of overall data, it can take some time to complete analysis. Now we have to go through the analysis and make corrections if needed. Let me click on the unsupported site templates. It shows us the site name, site URL, size, and most importantly, the reason for warning that you can view by hovering the mouse over custom feature. So this message means here that there's a group connected with the site and you will have to manually create the group at the destination. Let me now go back and check the unused site warnings. So here is the list of sites that have not been used in the past 6 months. So this is how you can plan what all sites are required to be migrated and whether any changes are required before you kick off migration. So once you are fully ready to migrate, simply click copy, enter the source URL of the SharePoint environment, click browser in the authentication and then hit connect. Enter the credentials. Expand sites. And select the site collection that you would like to migrate. Click next. Now enter the destination site address and the authentication will remain same, that is browser. So hit connect. Let's wait while it connects to the destination environment. Alright, now it's nearly connected. Expand sites. Select the one where data is going to be migrated. Now ShareGate will copy all the content along with the metadata, including versions, timestamp, and history. But how exactly SharePoint does all of that? It is because of mappings. You can edit the mapping by clicking on Mappings at the top right. In here, you can edit the user and group mapping in such a way that permissions and metadata attached to a user at source will get assigned to a different user at the destination SharePoint. For the demonstration, I am changing the user mapping for the user map to Ankush so that Ankush will get all the permissions whatever Matt has at source. Additionally, if you have a requirement to map any site templates, then you can do so under the Site Templates option. Let's just click Save and then click Options. Under here, you can modify advanced configurations, like you can choose to migrate the data as a subsite or merge into the existing site. And then under Operations, you can choose what needs to happen if the data already exists at the destination. For example, you can choose to keep both files or copy and replace, or just don't copy existing files, etc. Under configurations, you can select what all items or what all configurations should be retained. Alright, now once you are done with all the configurations, you can then click Start Copy down at the bottom right, and it will initiate the copy process. So we can see that it has started to copy different elements of the site collection. So it also shows you the details about user being found or not at the destination. Alright, so we can see elements like library, site columns, and so on have been migrated, and some of them are still being migrated. Okay, so after waiting for about 5 minutes, I can see majority of the data has been migrated, and it shows that nearly 98% has been completed. So let's just wait. Alright, now it shows completed, and we can see in the details about the elements status. So we can see majority of them have status as copied successfully. Alright, so this is how you can perform migration from source to destination SharePoint Online environment. Let me now launch the SharePoint Online site where the data was migrated to verify if the data is there or not. Let me click Active Sites and look for the one that I chose while kicking off migration. Alright, let me click Documents. Here we are. I can see all the documents are here. So this confirms migration was successful. So based on the mapping settings, let me now double check if the permission was also changed or not. So we mapped the permissions from user Matt to Ankush. So let me see. Yep, there we go. We can see that Ankush has been given permission to whatever permission Matt had on the source. So on the ShareGate portal, you can also click on Tasks to get the list of all the recent tasks performed by ShareGate tool. So we can see the complete list of items that were migrated. So even apart from migration, if you perform any other task, then that will be captured here. Let me now walk you through about reports. You can fetch various reports like permission matrix, audit report, external user report, unused site report, and so on. You can simply click on the report name, select the source, and then filter by site collection. Select the site or sites for which you would like to fetch the report. And then this is how you can proceed towards getting all the reports. Alright, let me now go back and show you another report. There is another report which can be very useful at times, and that is the external sharing status of site collections. Simply filter the site collections, select the ones that you need to run report for, and then click Run. Since I don't have any sites that are enabled for external sharing, that's the reason I'm just going back. But this is how you can run it if in case you have any such requirement. At last, I would like to share another useful feature of ShareGate. That is, you can assign permissions to users and groups to a SharePoint site. Simply filter the site collections and then select the sites to which you would like to assign permissions to. In my case, I'm just going to select all of them and then click Add Permissions. Enter the name of user or group to which permission needs to be assigned. Under the Assign Permissions, click on the Assign Site Collection Administrator and then hit Apply. Depending upon the number of sites, it can take some time, but it's usually very quick. Alright, so we can see permissions have been added to all 24 site collections. So that's all I wanted to cover in this video. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, as it will really motivate me to make even better videos for my YouTube family. As always, thank you for all the support, and bye for now.